That was me, but I desperately wanted to be liked.
I believe in myself.
Who do you actually believe anymore? Because when you put Victoria Beckham and Meghan Markle side by side, the differences are almost painful to ignore. Sure, on paper they look alike, both constantly in the spotlight, both facing endless headlines, good and bad. Both have Netflix deals. Both have brands, Victoria with her sleek fashion empire, Meghan with Jam. And both married famous men. But that's pretty much where the similarity ends. When you listen closely to their interviews, not just the words, but the tone, the body language, the way they own their stories, you realize they're not even playing the same game. Victoria Beckham has been called cold, even robotic at times. But at least she's consistent, calm, polished. Now compare that to Meghan Markle, a woman who can turn any spotlight into a storm. She says she wants to be real, honest, authentic, but somehow every attempt ends in another headline. Maybe that's the real difference. Victoria learned how to live in the spotlight without losing herself. Meghan? She's still trying to convince the world she belongs in it.
You're really seeing me. I'm being very honest. Really, really honest.
You can pinch me, I'm real.
I just want people to know that I'm a real person.
Today isn't about gossip, it's about truth. Because sometimes, the difference between authentic and artificial isn't in what people say, but in how they say it. And as you watch this, I'd love to know your opinion. Who feels genuine to you, and who just feels rehearsed? Go ahead and tap that like button, subscribe to new things, and ring that little bell so you don't miss what comes next, because today, we're peeling back the layers. Both women talk about working hard, being self-made, earning their success. But listen closely. One speaks from experience, the other performs the part. And the difference? You can feel it. It's the tone, the humility, or the lack of it. One woman has lived the grind quietly for decades. The other never stops reminding us how hard she's worked, as if repeating it might make it true.
It's been hard work, and there's been ups and there's been downs, but I never expected it to be any different. I never expected this to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Kept my head down, focused, worked hard.
Victoria Beckham has worked for over 2 decades in the fashion industry. She's involved in every step of the way, oversees every detail from design to presentation.
This is where the magic happens. These are the boards at the moment, but a lot can change right up until the minute that you put the
literally before they walk out.
Yeah, I'm just creating what I have never been able to find. Like, I'm very, very involved. I've never been someone that just likes to put my name on things. There's nothing wrong with that. There's room for everybody. But for me, it's very important that I'm involved every single step of the way, not just from the idea, but I get in the labs. I obsess over the detail. Been working on my brand for almost 2 decades. And it's been a real roller coaster ride. It hasn't been easy at all. I've never gone into this thinking I know everything. I'm the best at everything. You know, I've been a sponge over the years and really enjoyed learning from the best people in the industry.
Victoria has put in years of consistent hard work, building her credibility while facing a lot of preconceptions, being a celebrity and a football wife.
Right at the beginning, I didn't know what people were going to think. You know, there was a lot of raised eyebrows. Or those that could raise their eyebrows. Pop star who's married to a footballer, really going to do a clothing line. You know, a lot of people had preconceptions.
Her persistence, passion, and dedication, it shows. And people respect her talent. Meghan also insists on working hard. But how she says it, it feels scripted and rehearsed.
Oh my gosh, I work so hard.
Insists on working hard.
Right? The moment that everything sells out, it doesn't mean that we're done. Yeah, it means we're working on replenishment and what are the next SKUs and what's the next tranche of products and what's the timing on that and writing the newsletters and writing the social media captions and making sure that all that feels in line and what's the cadence of it.
And then there's Meghan Markle, always talking fast, words tumbling over each other like she's racing to prove something. Have you noticed? In almost every interview, she repeats herself again and again, as if the more she says it, the more we'll believe it.
Vision for the brand, it's just a constant dance. And I think in any business, you're dancing.
All the time.
All the time.
Dancing.
Oh, you could choreograph it as well as you want, but at a certain point, you're going to have to freestyle.
It's that kind of over-explaining that makes you wonder, who is she really trying to convince, us or herself? And when the topic turns to her brand, you'd expect calm confidence, a touch of strategy, maybe even a little sophistication. But no. Instead of speaking the language of a seasoned businesswoman, she drifts into stories about dancing, feeling the energy, following the vibe. It's charming for a moment, until you realize how far it is from the professionalism she keeps preaching. There's a fine line between being relatable and being careless. Victoria Beckham talks like a woman who's earned her place in the room. Meghan Markle talks like she's still auditioning for it.
A big deal for me. You know, for 3 years we haven't had a show. We've been restructuring the business and the design team and the atelier. And to have that comeback moment in Paris, that's a big deal. And that has been my dream for longer than I can ever remember. So that's my proudest moment so far.
And the show was incredible.
You're most proud of in your career when you think about everything that you've done today?
In my career?
Yeah.
Investing in myself. And I loved being able to have a portfolio, female founders. But I do think it takes a little bit of courage to bet on yourself. Yeah. And that's felt really good.
Next question. What would you tell your younger self?
Always very shy. Very self-conscious. You know, I used to really struggle with my skin. And I've always used makeup almost like a shield, you know.
To protect.
To I suppose to hide behind when I was younger. So I was never very confident, always quite shy. So I would just tell myself to just relax, enjoy the journey, which I have done. Work hard at school is key. Because, you know, when you're running your own business, your education is very, very important. Never be afraid to ask questions.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I would say that life is full of surprises. Mm-hmm. And also that, you know, life is short. And I really believe that no matter what anyone is going through, that if you are able to say that, yes, this is going to pass, or this is amazing and let's really embrace it.
Did you notice the difference? When Victoria Beckham speaks, there's a calmness, a grounded grace that comes from knowing herself. Her words feel measured, thoughtful. She's not performing, she's reflecting. She talks about her insecurities, her past mistakes, even her failures, without shame, without excuses. It's the kind of honesty that only comes from a woman who's lived, learned, and grown. And then there's Meghan. For her, nothing is ever wrong, unless it's someone else's fault. The press, the palace, the people who don't understand. Somehow, she's always the misunderstood one, the victim of everyone's ignorance but her own. To Meghan, the world needs fixing, not her. We're the ones who need to change, to believe, to see her the right way. How does that make you feel? Because for me, it's unsettling.
Is there anything you do different?
I said, if I am lucky enough to come out of this pandemic and do a show, I want to really, really enjoy it. Because in the past, when I was doing the big shows, I was so stressed and you work so hard and you don't sleep and you drive yourself crazy about all the little details. I mean, I think people would be very, very surprised if they saw the amount of work and the attention to detail that goes into creating a collection and a show. So for me, moving forward, it's about working hard and being honest and true to myself, but really, really having fun and living in the moment, being present as well.
If you could choose one thing for people to know the truth about you, what would that one thing be?
No one's ever asked me that. You know, I think when I sit with it for a second here, I just want people to know that I'm a real person.
It's so easy to find videos like these. It's so easy to find people commenting on Meghan being a narcissist because every story, every narrative, she always turns it and circles it back to her. Me, myself, and Meghan.
Right? I mean, I want everything that I'm thinking about that I have poured my heart and soul into. It's not just jam. So I loved that it was winning all these blind taste tests. And I loved that people loved it. Oh, I was making that in my kitchen. That's how you'd feel if you're at my house. Thank you. It works.
I will not bore you with more proof of Meghan's need and desire for admiration. But Victoria is very different. She compliments others. She admires others. And she gives credit to those around her.
And I always like to compliment women anyway, you know, even if they're not wearing something of mine, you know, just because I always think that's really important. And Roland mentored me. You know, he was never involved with the design side of things, but he introduced me to a team of people that could support me. And so he really was the reason why I'm here now. He was so kind and generous with his time and his advice. So it was Roland really that gave me the tools to turn a dream into a reality.
In every interview I've watched, she'll mention others, her team, her customers, her family, other designers, and mentors. And giving compliments is very charismatic, and it takes the attention away from her, which is the opposite of narcissism. The point is that true charisma is not about stealing the spotlight or owning the spotlight. No, it's about sharing the spotlight and shining together with others. Which brings me to the next point, their team, their staff members. Victoria credits her team and mentions that she could not do this without them and their talents.
I have a great team of people around me. I'm not going to say I'm doing this all on my own, Robin. I mean, I'm very involved every step of the way, but I have a great team of people around me, helping me, advising me.
She shows appreciation and her team members value her. Here's her sales director making this video.
I'm Leon Gray, sales director at Victoria Beckham. Being part of a team of 3 or 4, including Victoria, was an incredible experience. We go to Paris about 4 times a year and offer a showroom where the stores can come to see the collection firsthand. And now she was standing in front of me as my boss, and it's those moments that I've taken with me all the way through, and I will never forget.
Meghan, she says she believes in her team, but what does that really mean?
I believe in the team around me. I believe in our potential for success.
5. Her reputation as a boss is very controversial.
Advisors refer to Meghan as a narcissistic sociopath who played the people who worked for her, with another source calling both the Duke and Duchess outrageous bullies.
This is a dangerous person. I don't like her.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
Everybody who works for her quits. Everybody says she's a bully.
From NDAs to bullying accusations, the headlines have been relentless. But how much of it is true, and how much is performance? I'll let you decide. Because what really matters here isn't the rumor, it's the behavior behind it. The way we treat people when no one's watching says far more about us than any polished interview or perfect photo ever could. Respect. Appreciation. These things can't be faked. They build trust quietly, steadily, while secrecy and control only break it down. And speaking of secrecy, let's talk about numbers. Because authenticity in business isn't just about pretty packaging or flowery speeches. It's about honesty, being open, transparent, accountable. Victoria Beckham has never pretended her journey was flawless. Her brand has struggled, we've all seen it. The sales, the losses, the loans, it's all public record. Painful? Maybe. But honest. And there's power in that. Now, compare that to Meghan Markle's jam empire. For someone who preaches transparency and empowerment, her numbers are nowhere to be found. How much did she really sell, 1 jar or 10? We don't know. What we do know is that she sold out in 44 minutes.
Clear.
Meghan wouldn't share sales figures for us ever, but so far most of its inventory has quickly sold out.
Sold out also in less than an hour.
44 minutes.
Everything sells out in 45 minutes.
Everything sold out in under an hour.
Everything. Yeah.
And
45 minutes.
Talking about jam, David and Victoria made a really funny video actually throwing a jab at Meghan's jam while they're cooking in their own kitchen and making their own jar of jam.
Actually, you're not making jams.
What are you doing?
Well, I prepared 1 jam this morning, plum jam with our plums.
You've been making lots of jam from the plums. And look, show us. What have you made? He's very proud, he's proud. David Beck jam.
Original.
Talking about numbers, Victoria and David have been married for over 25 years, which is very rare in the celebrity world. They have a really strong bond.
And we've been married for 25 years now. If I didn't genuinely love this man, I mean, 25 years is a long, long time.
Meghan and Harry, or H, have been married about 8 years. Is their bond so strong? There are a lot of rumors and predictions which I don't want to go into, but you can share your opinion. Did you know that Victoria can actually be really funny? She's no ice queen at all.
Did you know that Victoria can actually be really funny? She's no ice queen at all.
Victoria Beckham is famous for not smiling ever. I mean, I actually do smile quite a lot. I mean, I know that that really does shock people.
She shows humor in her interviews. She laughs at herself, which makes her more likable.
The truth is, vulnerability builds connection. When you share your struggles, your insecurities, your failures, you invite people in. You make them see the real you. That's what creates trust. That's what feels human. And after watching both women side by side, the difference speaks for itself. Victoria Beckham doesn't hide behind perfection. She embraces the cracks, the lessons, the effort it took to get where she is. Meghan Markle, on the other hand, talks about authenticity like it's a brand, polished, packaged, and just a little too rehearsed. So, who feels more real to you? Because for me, authenticity isn't about the words, it's about the energy behind them. And one of these women has mastered grace under pressure, while the other still seems to be performing for approval. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell me in the comments who you'd like me to compare next. Whose public image do you think deserves a closer look? And if you want to see just how far some people will go to grab attention, don't miss the next video. It's right here on screen and linked below. I'll see you there.